Good evening, friends. This is Naresh, your host from Autocars India. Very good evening and very good afternoon. Warm welcome to all my viewers around the world for this round 13 of Italian Grand Prix at Monza. It was such an interesting session yesterday when rain kept all of us waiting, including the drivers and engineers all around the paddock for almost 2 hours. And then finally, the qualifying session did start with all the drama where the rain kept on picking up, and eventually, Lewis Hamilton made it to the pole position, and he holds now maximum pole position record in Formula 1 with 69 pole positions, with Michael Schumacher 68 sits on second. So Lewis Hamilton becomes the legend of Formula 1 in today's time when he gets the 69th pole position. But it was all a drama yesterday in qualifying finally, and there were a lot of grid penalties which were to be given to the drivers. So finally, just to give you a brief on the starting grid, Lewis Hamilton is going to start on the pole in his Mercedes AMG. On the first row, he'll be joined by Lance Stroll, Williams, Canadian driver. Second row sits with Esteban Ocon, Force India, along with Valtteri Bottas of Mercedes AMG in fourth position. Fifth position, Kimi Raikkonen starts off with Ferrari ahead of his teammate Sebastian Vettel, who starts at sixth position. Felipe Massa, seventh position in Williams. Eighth position, Daniel Kvyat in his Toro Rosso. Ninth position starting for Kevin Magnussen in Haas. 10th position, Sergio Perez, Force India. 11th position, Marcus Ericsson in his Sauber. 12th starting by Pascal Wehrlein in Sauber. Max Verstappen starts 13th in his Red Bull Racing. 14th position, Nico Hülkenberg, Renault. 15th, Carlos Sainz Jr. in his Scuderia Toro Rosso. Just to give you, Max Verstappen did finish second and Daniel Ricciardo did finish third. However, due to the grid penalties, they have been relegated down. Many of the drivers this weekend are going with grid penalties, including both the McLarens, where Stoffel Vandoorne also qualified 10th. However, he'll be relegated down with his grid penalties. Daniel Ricciardo starts off at 16th position in his Red Bull. 7th position, Jolyon Palmer, 17th position in his Renault. Stoffel Vandoorne, McLaren, 18th position. Romain Grosjean starts 20th, along with Fernando Alonso at 19th position. So that's a starting lineup for you for this edition of 13th edition of 2017 Formula 1 World Championship at Monza in Italy. In terms of driver standing, Sebastian Vettel is leading the driver championship with 220 points with 4 wins, and Lewis Hamilton 213 points, 7 points behind with 5 wins. Valtteri Bottas sits at third position with 179 points, 41 points behind the leader with 2 race wins. Daniel Ricciardo 132 points, 88 points behind championship leader Sebastian Vettel with 1 win. He is followed by Kimi Raikkonen, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Esteban Ocon, Carlos Sainz Jr. and Nico Hülkenberg in 10th positions. We are about to start the race at Monza, 13th edition of Formula 1 2017 World Championship. Quick facts about the circuit. There are 2 sectors. This is round 13, where elevation change is almost about 12.8 meters at turn number 11. 2 DRS zones available in this circuit. It's a fast flowing, high speed parabolic circuit. As the drivers, they get ready inside their cars for the formation lap, we are all set for the starting of 13th edition of Monza Formula 1 Grand Prix 2017 season. Drivers, they get ready inside their cars for the formation. Give you a quick update on the starting grid. So Felipe Massa starts 7th, Daniel Kvyat 8th, 9th Kevin Magnussen, followed by Sergio Perez at 10th position, 5 places grid penalty. Marcus Ericsson start 11th, 12th Pascal Wehrlein of Sauber, 20 places grid penalty for Max Verstappen, 10 place grid penalty for Nico Hülkenberg, starts 14th, 15th, 10 place grid penalty for Carlos Sainz. Daniel Ricciardo starts 16, 25 places grid penalty. 15 places grid penalty for Jolyon Palmer. 25 places grid penalty for Stoffel Van starts at 18th. 19th, 35 places grid penalty for Fernando Alonso. 5 places grid penalty for Roman Grosjean, who starts last on the grid. As the drivers just gets ready, all the mechanics, engineers starts getting to clear the starting grid. We are all set. Weather is good for a weekend, all awaiting. After all the drama in the rain happened, we look forward for a dry race today. This is a huge weekend for Ferrari, where Ferrari is celebrating their 70th anniversary today. Will Sebastian Vettel or Kimi Raikkonen be able to add to that occasion with the first win on home soil since way back 2010? Time will tell. However, Ferraris are looking good to score a win here. However, no team can be very confident here because they all ran in the wet tires, in the wet weather, and today it's sunny weather, clear weather. Air temperature is about 25 degrees, track temperature is about 36 degrees, as all the drivers' tire blankets have been removed from the cars and engineers are clear. Just about 2 minutes for the formation lap to start. All the drivers have free choices to make for the starting, where Verstappen is starting with soft. However, most of the driver has taken a choice of super soft tires. As it strikes 2 o'clock on the clock, formation lap for Monza Italian Grand Prix just gets underway, and there is a problem with McLaren. Gets off the grid quite late for Fernando Alonso, but he did takes off from the starting box. As drivers cruising on the track, today clear weather with sun out, we are going to have a great racing in our hands. Monza, the maximum wins are with Michael Schumacher, 5 wins, with 3 wins for many drivers, Fangio, Stirling Moss and many more. All drivers had cleanly got away for the warm-up lap, as everybody is reaching in sector 2 just before the start finish line. Coming to this race, Lewis Hamilton has high hopes after he broken the record of great Michael Schumacher with maximum number of pole position. He holds now this record with 69 pole positions after he overtaken in this weekend at Monza. He took his 69th pole position today, as all the drivers closing in on the circuit, and Wonder Boy Lance Stroll is going to start second on the grid today. Let's see whether he is able to capitalize on the race start in the beginning. It will be very interesting to see the start of this race. With top 10, Hamilton, Stroll, Ocon, Bottas, Raikkonen, Vettel, Massa, Kvyat, Magnussen and Perez. All other drivers are also catching up on the starting grid as they get their cars stationary in the starting boxes. As we wait for the last few cars to get into the starting box, we are all set for Monza Italian Grand Prix to start. The last car of Roman Grosjean get into the box, and here we go. We are all set. The green flag goes on with the steward. 5 red lights start coming. 4, 5, and lights goes off, and it's the starting of Monza Italian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has a great start. Lance Stroll, Sergio Perez is already charging and he's ahead of him. Lewis Hamilton comfortably in the first position, holds off his lead. It's very interesting. All of the drivers have come out unhurt in the first corner as they all approach. 4 cars on the road side by side. All the drivers are clear. Valtteri Bottas already making move on Ferraris with Lewis Hamilton pulling away. Esteban Ocon in the second position, followed by Lance Stroll, who has lost out 1 position. Kimi Raikkonen is already covered up. He's on the 4th position, followed by Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel behind him. Felipe Massa behind him, and further down Daniel Ricciardo is also in the hot pursuit now as we go lap 1 of 53 of this Italian Grand Prix. Verstappen in the 8th position, followed by Sergio Perez and Kevin Magnussen in 10th position. all have a safe going in the first lap. And here side by side for Valtteri Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen, and Valtteri Bottas takes the lead from Kimi Raikkonen, and Kimi Raikkonen tries once again. He is not going to give the lead easily, but he cannot do much about it. Valtteri Bottas too fast in the corners and takes the position from Kimi Raikkonen. He is ahead of both the Ferraris. As we go to the lap 2 of this race, Hamilton comfortably in lead of this race. So we are in lap 3 of 53 laps, and Lewis Hamilton is leading the race with Esteban Ocon in the second position. Valtteri Bottas is in the third position, just overtaken Lance Stroll, who is down in fourth position now. Both the Ferraris are charging up now with Raikkonen and Vettel in fifth and sixth position. Felipe Massa in seventh position, and we have a problem here. Verstappen once again. He has had a tire puncture, seems to be. So his car touches with Felipe Massa, and Max Verstappen once again been very unlucky, and he has spoiled the race once again. Max Verstappen with his tire puncture now, limping back to the pits. One more race spoiled for Max Verstappen. And here Valtteri Bottas makes a move on Esteban Ocon. Valtteri Bottas is very quick in this race, and he's showing his true pace today. In a matter of 4 laps, he has already got 4 positions ahead, and he's in the second position now, with both the Ferraris now chasing Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll. And Sebastian Vettel in the meantime tried to overtake Kimi Raikkonen, who did not allow him the space, and the next time around he tries again, and Sebastian Vettel goes ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. In the meantime, Max Verstappen is in the pits. Inspection is going on for his car, and they are changing the nose, tires going on, and Max Verstappen comes back on the track. His incident with Lance Stroll is under investigation. He has touched Lance Stroll in the last lap. So as we go in the lap 6 of 53, Lewis Hamilton leads and Bottas is in second position now with Esteban Ocon in third. Vettel is chasing hard Esteban Ocon now, followed by Lance Stroll and Kimi Raikkonen in sixth place. Felipe Massa is in seventh, Sergio Perez in eighth, Kevin Magnussen ninth, and Daniel Ricciardo in 10th position now. Toro Rosso, Daniel Kvyat 11th, Nico Hülkenberg, Renault 12th, Stoffel Vandoorne 13th, 14th Carlos Sainz, 15th Fernando Alonso, Marcus Ericsson Sauber in 16th, Palmer in another Renault, Pascal Wehrlein in 18th position, Grosjean 19th, Max Verstappen last in 20th position. It was a clean start today for this race and no casualty whatsoever in the first lap. Here now Esteban Ocon is being chased by Sebastian Vettel, who is desperate to overtake Esteban Ocon so he can start chasing Valtteri Bottas once again, who comfortably overtaken Sebastian Vettel 2 laps back. And Kimi Raikkonen, trying to overtake Stroll, goes off the track and joins back behind him once again. He is in sixth position. We have all 22 cars on the track, with Verstappen only casualty what happened, but he's still in the race in 20th position with a puncture tire, right front tire. It was a clean race for all the drivers except Lance Stroll and Max Verstappen. And Massa also had a touch with one of the Williams in the first lap. Also there was wheel to wheel for Bottas and Kimi Raikkonen also. However, on the track now, Valtteri Bottas, and here Vettel, he overtakes Esteban Ocon. Finally, he goes to the third position. Pretty comfortably he overtakes him. And Lance Stroll is behind Esteban Ocon now and will try to overtake Esteban Ocon, but it's not going to be easy to overtake Force India Esteban Ocon. In the meantime, Bottas comfortably ahead of Lewis Hamilton in lap 8 of 53 laps. So top 10, Lewis Hamilton leading the Monza Grand Prix with Valtteri Bottas 2.7 seconds behind. Further 6 seconds down, Sebastian Vettel, who just overtaken Esteban Ocon in last lap. Lance Stroll in 4th position. 5th position for Lance Stroll. Kimi Raikkonen in 6th. Felipe Massa 7th. Sergio Perez 8th. 9th, Daniel Ricciardo. And 10th, Kevin Magnussen, completing the top 10. McLarens are way down in 13th and 15th position with Stoffel Vandoorne and Fernando Alonso. Verstappen in last, courtesy his car touching Lance Stroll few laps back. Ricardo is already up to P9 when he started P16 on the grid. Had made a very rapid progress, this Australian driver. He always have a habit of picking up the places quietly. Imagine 16 to 9 position, almost 7 position has been covered now. Now Stroll is hunting down Ocon, where he is in DRS zone, just zero point 0.7 seconds behind. In the meantime, Hulkenberg goes to the pits, where he has a regular change of tires, goes out safely on the track once again. Where does he join? He joins back in 18th position. Turn 1 incident which happened between Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll. Stewards have confirmed no further action required. He had the clash with Felipe Massa. Sebastian Vettel comfortably ahead of Force India, Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll for Williams. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton sets up the fastest lap, and both the Mercedes are having a very good gap between them and Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. In the meantime, Lance Stroll quickly coming just behind the tail of Esteban Ocon, with just half a second down on Esteban Ocon, looking to overtake him. Kimi Raikkonen is presently in 6th position. We are in lap 11 of 53 of this 13th round of Formula One World Championship at Monza, Italy, with Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading, followed by Valtteri Bottas in 2nd position and Sebastian Vettel in 3rd position. Lewis Hamilton is comfortably leading Sebastian Vettel we are in lap 12 of this race. We are in lap 12 of Monza Grand Prix, and Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading the race with Valtteri Bottas in second position, Sebastian Vettel in third position. Way down the order, Alonso has moved up to 13th position after Hülkenberg made his pit stop. But seems to be Palmer has just now overtaken Fernando Alonso, so he goes back to 14th position. And he overtakes back. So Palmer has been overtaken again by Fernando Alonso, who comes to 13th position. Bit of battle going down the field also. Stoffel Van Dam already climbed to 11th position now. Max Verstappen, the last car on the grid, at P20 now, due to the collision which happened with Felipe Massa. In the meantime, Lance Stroll, still looking to overtake Esteban Ocon, doesn't find a way. And now Kimi Räikkönen is behind Lance Stroll. So all three cars in position 3, 4, 5, fighting for the fourth position on the grid. This time around, lap 14th, Kimi Räikkönen seems to be even getting closer, and there was some movements with Fernando Alonso and Jolyon Palmer. Jolyon Palmer tried to overtake Fernando Alonso, but he get his position back. Kimi Räikkönen still trying to overtake Lance Stroll, but doesn't get a way past him. We are in lap 15 of 53 with Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading the race. Valtteri Bottas behind him, 3 seconds gap. Further 9 second gaps between Mercedes and Ferrari. Esteban Ocon another 6 seconds down, and then bunch up of 3 cars, Esteban Ocon, Stroll and Raikkonen. With further 2 seconds down is Felipe Massa, Perez, Ricciardo, Kvyat, not separating by much. Top 10. We are in lap 15 of 53 with Ocon, Stroll, Raikkonen still holding position 4, 5 and 6 respectively. It will be little tough for Kimi Räikkönen also if he stays behind Lance Stroll for long. That will eat up his tires. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton gets the fastest lap of the race in 1 minute 24 seconds. In the meantime, Kimi Räikkönen comes into the pits. After he sees that he's not able to get past Lance Stroll, he didn't want to waste any more time and try to overtake them in the pit lanes. In the meantime, Stoffel Van Dam trying to overtake Daniel Kvyat in front of him. Raikkonen has come to the pits last time around and got his soft tires on. It was not a very quick tire stop for Kimi Raikkonen, but it might help him undercut Stroll and Ocon, which he was not able to do on the track. In the meantime, Stoffel Vandoorne is also going pretty strong in 10th position right now with super soft tires and in chasing Daniel Kvyat of Toro Rosso. Let's see what he can do. In the meantime, Force India is getting ready. And who is this? Esteban Ocon. Let's see where does he join in terms of Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen is in 11th position right now. Ocon joins ahead of Raikkonen. So Raikkonen not able to overtake Esteban Ocon. In the meantime, battle between Perez and Daniel Ricciardo for 7th position. Daniel Ricciardo sweeps past Sergio Perez, and Sergio Perez tries to come back again, but he's not able to do. And Ricciardo comes to 6th position here. Good work by the Force India to bring Ocon in front. In the meantime, Stroll also comes to the pits, and let's see where he joins in terms of position for Kimi Raikkonen. Where does he come? He loses out. Force India and Ferrari of Kimi Raikkonen has overtaken Lance Stroll in the pits. And here 5-second time penalty for car number 30, which is Joylyn Palmer, leaving the track and gaining an advantage on Fernando Alonso, which Alonso complained about, and race control has given a penalty to Joylyn Palmer here. We are in lap 19 of 53, and Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading the race with 4 seconds gap between him and Valtteri Bottas. There was bit of error from Lewis Hamilton last lap. He went to the gravel but gets himself back safely on the track. Definitely the pressure is showing up on Lewis Hamilton here. In the meantime, Daniel Ricciardo is getting set to have a look on Felipe Massa, who is in 4th position. Daniel Ricciardo is on 5th position right now, with Lewis Hamilton leading the race, Valtteri Bottas behind him, Sebastian Vettel in 3rd position, Felipe Massa in 4th position. Alonso is in 12th position right now, with other McLaren of Stoffel Vandoorne in 7th position, who is being chased by Esteban Ocon and Kimi Raikkonen, as he has not made the pit stop. Esteban Ocon. Just to remind you that Sebastian Vettel is leading the World Championship this year with 220 points, 7 points ahead of 2nd position Lewis Hamilton, who has 213 points. Sebastian Vettel has got 4 race wins, whereas Lewis Hamilton, despite of 5 race wins, he has 213 points. And today, Lewis Hamilton is looking to be very strong in his position and leading the race presently. Valtteri Bottas with 179 points is in the 3rd position. And here this time around, Lance Stroll tries to come alongside Stoffel Vandoorne, but he is not able to overtake him. Felipe Massa comes out of the pits, and this time around Lance Stroll makes a move on Stoffel Vandoorne and overtakes him comfortably, with Felipe Massa just joining the track behind Stoffel Vandoorne. Ricciardo is now in the 4th position after starting from 16th on the grid. In the meantime, Kimi Raikkonen still behind Esteban Ocon. He was not able to overtake Esteban Ocon last time around when he came to the pits, but he did overtake Lance Stroll. And he is not able to do with Force India, now on the track even. Force Indias are pretty quick cars here this weekend around. Good thing is we have all the 20 drivers on the track. This time around, Kimi Raikkonen still closing, but not much so as he can make a move on Force India. We are in lap 24 of 53. Kimi Raikkonen still behind Esteban Ocon. And this time around, Felipe Massa makes a move on Stoffel Vandoorne and overtakes him. Felipe Massa goes to 9th position. Lewis Hamilton comfortably leading this race now and controlling the pace of the race. And he's going to catch up with the back markers very soon. We are in lap 26 now with Lewis Hamilton leading the race. And remember, top 5 cars have still not made the pit stop with Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Raikkonen, Ricciardo and Perez. They are still to make the pit stop. Also, both the McLarens, they also have not made the pit stop as of now. So it will be interesting when top 5 cars decides to make a pit stop and where do they come out in respect to the other cars behind them right now. And this time around, Kimi Raikkonen does make a move and he makes it stick. So Kimi Raikkonen finally overtakes Esteban Ocon of Force India. He must be frustrated behind him right from the beginning, and now he's able to do that. And this time around, Esteban Ocon tries once again. No, he doesn't, even though he gets a DRS, but still he is not able to match up the pace of Ferrari. So already cars in position 15th till 20th, they have been lapped down by the leaders. Remember, this is a fast track where speeds are in excess of 330 km per hour, and very great chances that leaders will be able to lap all the cars. So it will be interesting as we are in lap 27 and 6 cars have been lapped down now. We are in lap 29 of 53 with Lewis Hamilton still leading the race comfortably, and he has not made a pit stop. Top 5 cars have not made the pit stop as of now. As the Red Bull Max Verstappen gets ready for the pit stop, Verstappen comes inside, stops and had the smooth pit stop, goes back on the track. As we go to lap 29 of 53, Lewis Hamilton leads the race comfortably. Valtteri Bottas in second position. Sebastian Vettel is in third position now, with Daniel Ricciardo in fourth position. After he started way down in 16th position, he's 12 positions he's gained in last 29 laps. However, he still has to make the pit stop. With Lance Stroll now coming up behind Esteban Ocon of Force India, trying to make a move and get the position 8 which he lost earlier. Remember, Lance Stroll had started in second position. Bottas is in second position, followed by Sebastian Vettel, who is now in third position. With Daniel Ricciardo in fifth position, Force India of Sergio Perez in fifth position. Kimi Raikkonen is down in sixth position, followed by Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll, Massa and Stoffel Vandoorne completing the top 10. In the meantime, Jolyon Palmer, his car has been retired, so he becomes the first casualty for the race as his car gets retired. This time around, Fernando Alonso comes to the pits. And we have Vettel also coming to the pits. Also goes on soft tires. It will be interesting to see where Vettel will join the track after he comes out. Looks to be pretty comfortably coming ahead of Sergio Perez of Force India. So he joins fourth on the grid. And this time around, Lewis Hamilton, the race leader, comes to the pits. Very quick pit stop and comes out on the track. It will be interesting to see where Lewis Hamilton joins back on the pits. And we can see Valtteri Bottas on the background. And yes, he comes out comfortably ahead of the Ferrari. So he comes out in second position. In the meantime, slow pit stop for Sergio Perez. It's a 4.1 second pit stop for Sergio Perez as he comes out of the pits and he joins in front of Stoffel Vandoorne. So 9th position, Sergio Perez joins back on the track. This time around, Valtteri Bottas makes the pit stop, 2.2 seconds. A fast pit stop, which is always the quality of Mercedes to give the faster pit stops. And he joins back in second position behind Lewis Hamilton. And this time around, so Lewis Hamilton is being chased by Max Verstappen, who overtakes him comfortably for 15th position. In the meantime, Stoffel Vandoorne, he complains of no power and he comes back to the pits. So seems to be game over for Stoffel Vandoorne as his car gets retired. He has 4 DNFs this year. Honda woes continues for McLaren. So we have two drivers out of the race, which is Joellen Palmer from Renault and Stoffel Vandoorne McLaren. With Nico Hülkenberg, he is presently in 11th position and looks to be strong to get some points for Renault. Lewis Hamilton leading the race comfortably with 3-second gaps between him and Valtteri Bottas. We are on lap 36 of 53 in this race. So with 37 laps to go, Hamilton is still comfortably leading the race. Bottas in second position. Both the Mercedes have controlled the race with 1-2, with Daniel Ricciardo in third position. Very strong third position considering he started in 16th position and gained 13 places to come to third. Seems to be gaining another podium finish for Daniel Ricciardo. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton gets the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 23.97 seconds on soft tires. Battle for 6th position is going on between Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll and Felipe Massa. And finally Daniel Ricciardo comes to the pits, change of tires. Super soft tires goes in his car. And it will be interesting to see where does he join back on the track. Remember, Red Bulls are very strong now with Max Verstappen getting the fastest sector time in sector 1. And he comes out of the track and he joins in 5th position behind Ferraris. Good thing his well ahead of Ocon, Stroll and Massa, and he can have a clear attack on Kimi Räikkönen now. With Mercedes 1-2, Ferraris 3-4, Daniel Ricciardo in 6th position. So lap 40 of 53 in progress, with both the Mercedes in first and second position, Ferraris Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen third and fourth position, fifth Daniel Ricciardo, and then Ocon, Stroll, Massa fighting for sixth position here. The gap between Kimi Räikkönen and Daniel Ricciardo is just 1.4 seconds now. And there is a huge lockup for Lance Stroll while overtaking the back marker. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton gets another fastest lap of the race, now down in 1 minute 23s. Daniel Ricciardo getting very close to Ferrari, and he makes the move on Ferrari, Kimi Räikkönen, and he actually overtakes him. What a move by Daniel Ricciardo to overtake Kimi Räikkönen Ferrari. He manages to overtake. This Red Bull car is coming alive with this new set of tires which has just gone on Daniel Ricciardo. What a move. This should be the move of the race as he overtakes Kimi Räikkönen and gets into the fourth position. He has 11 seconds between him and Sebastian Vettel, and if he keeps this pace, sure he's going to catch up Sebastian Vettel by the end of the race. He got tremendous pace. Seems to be Kimi Räikkönen has caught napping. What a move by Daniel Ricciardo here, as he grabs the fourth position from Kimi Räikkönen and splits both the Ferrari's third and fourth position. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton overtakes Haas. Lewis Hamilton still comfortably up in the lead, with the best move coming out of the race is for Daniel Ricciardo overtaking Kimi Räikkönen. We are in lap 43 of this race with 10 laps to go. Lewis Hamilton leading the race comfortably with 3.6 seconds gap between him and Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel is in third position, and Daniel Ricciardo with a beautiful move on Kimi Räikkönen is in the fourth position. And in the meantime, Daniel Ricciardo sets the fastest lap of the race. He's just 10 seconds behind Vettel now. This seems to be turning out to be a good race for Daniel Ricciardo now. And he has a knack of picking up points when the chips are down for Red Bull. Remember, Red Bull is not a very strong car in this season. However, he still manages to get one win and then have few of the podium places in last races around. And he has done exactly the same today. Lewis Hamilton leading the race, lap 45, Valtteri Bottas second position. Lewis Hamilton all set to win this Grand Prix here with just 8 laps to go. Sebastian Vettel is in third position, strong third position for Sebastian Vettel also. And Kimi Raikkonen is in the fifth position behind Daniel Ricciardo. With just 7 laps to go, Lewis Hamilton comfortably in the first position here. With 8 cars have been lapped down already, this race is turning out to be steady for Lewis Hamilton, where he's all set to overtake the lead of Sebastian Vettel and start leading the World Championship once again this year. First time in this year actually. And this will be, if he wins here, will be the 6th race win, which is a great one to do. And this time Magnussen and also Max Verstappen is in whole of overtaking the cars. Magnussen and Max Verstappen were in battle, and Max Verstappen manages to overtake Kevin Magnussen. We are on lap 48 of 53, and Daniel Ricciardo is just about 6-second gap between him and Sebastian Vettel. Very interesting to see whether he will be able to cover up this 6 seconds gap between him and Vettel, and can he challenge Sebastian Vettel also in Ferrari, just like he did for Kimi Raikkonen few laps back, and he overtaken Kimi Raikkonen with no problems whatsoever with late braking in the corners. And Kimi Raikkonen seemed to have no answer for that move. With just 5 seconds behind Ricciardo, and he has 5 laps to go, it seems to be we are heading to a great finish with third position up for offing. And now Ricardo is just about 5 seconds down on Sebastian Vettel. With 4 laps to go, seems to be tough, but we believe Ricardo should be able to catch up Sebastian Vettel. In the meantime, Lewis Hamilton, another faster lap, 1 minute 23.5 seconds. He's seems to be now reaching prime of his form once again in this year, with fastest sector times of sector 1 and 2 held by Ricardo, and sector 3 is held by Lewis Hamilton. In the meantime, down the order, Kimi Räikkönen is in 5th position, Esteban Ocon 6th position, 7th Lance Stroll, Felipe Massa 8th, 9th for Sergio Perez, and Max Verstappen in 10th position. Remember, Max Verstappen in starting of the race had a hit with Felipe Massa, and he had to come down to the pits, and he was in the back of the field. Still he comes up to 10th position. So seems to be a bad weekend for Max Verstappen, but if he gets any points here, it will be great, and he's all set to do that. Gap between Ferrari and Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo is just about 4.6 seconds, with just 2 laps to go for this Italian Grand Prix. And Red Bull now very much in sight to take a look on Ferrari Sebastian Vettel. 4.6 seconds gap. Just about 2 laps to go now. Hamilton leading the race with 5 seconds gap between him and Bottas. Sebastian Vettel way down. It's almost 30-second gap in 3rd position car, which is Sebastian Vettel, and Daniel Ricciardo in 4th position with 4.5 second gap between him and Sebastian Vettel. Esteban Ocon, he's in 6th position, ahead of Lance Stroll 7th position, and Massa at 8th. Sergio Perez in 9th position, and Verstappen completing the top 10 at 10th position. And another do not finish for Fernando Alonso as he retires his car. As we go on the final lap of this race, where Lewis Hamilton is all set to get another win here and make this memorable for Mercedes. as Lewis Hamilton comes around the corner in the last lap and to win his final parabolica curve by Lewis Hamilton, and he wins the Italian Grand Prix here. Bottas finishes in second position. Sebastian Vettel finishes in third position here. Ricciardo. And in the meantime, Felipe Massa makes a move on Lance Stroll here. No, he is not able to overtake him. He tries once again. Tries his best. He's still trying to get a look on Lance Stroll for 7th position. No, he is not able to do. Lance Stroll manages to keep that position 7 for him, and Sergio Perez is behind Felipe Massa also. Battle for 7th position is going on still, with Force India Sergio Perez trying to catch up with Felipe Massa, and Felipe Massa made a move on Lance Stroll, but he could not stick and he had to give the position back. And this is the last chance for Sergio Perez to make a move on Felipe Massa. Will he be able to do? No, he is not very close to Felipe Massa this time around. And as they come around the parabolica, Lance Stroll holds on to 7th position. Felipe Massa goes 8th, 9th, Sergio Perez, and Max Verstappen finishes in 10th position. Sebastian Vettel only able to get his Ferrari on podium at third step, where Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas P1 and P2, with Daniel Ricciardo in 4th position. Both Mercedes on the track after winning, going side by side, greeting each other after winning the Grand Prix, and Daniel Ricciardo in behind trying to catch up and join the train of the cars there. What a sight that is being shown by helicopter shots. Mercedes 1-2 yet again at Monza. Friends, do remember to like and subscribe my channel by hitting subscribe button on right bottom corner of your screen. This is your host Naresh from Autocars India, signing off now. Take care and look forward to see you in 2 weeks time in Singapore Grand Prix.